I created Debrah.com, which in itself came as a joke because I was contributing to my friend and his GhanaCelebrities.com. I sort of understood that the future could be video. When I started for a very long time, it was just me. Since it hit the roof, it never stopped. I started writing for a number of online platforms. Hi, my name is Ameyaw Debrah. I am a blogger, content creator, social media influencer, and many other things in between. It's been really interesting. I think I've done it for a little over 15 years. I got into the media space immediately after university. I started doing writing for a print magazine, and then I made my journey to the online space. I had always loved the internet, and I found myself in the very early stages using social media platforms like High Five and creating connection with people that I didn't know. And so I became sort of popular really fast, and it led me to looking out for opportunities online. So I started with writing for a number of online platforms, and then an opportunity came for me to join Voices of Africa, an initiative based in Netherlands. And what they did was to give a Nokia phone to journalists across Africa, and we used a phone to record videos, edit and do everything, and then we upload to the server. So that was exciting. Initially, I thought I was doing something, send it to them in Netherlands, and then they would publish, and people back home would perhaps not connect with that content. But again, people were connecting with it to the point that Ghana Web also saw the works and then came to me to become a content editor for them. So while working with Voice of Africa, just before ending my tenure, I had the opportunity to go and speak about the project at Highway Africa. It's a summit for digital innovation. So when we went, it was at a stage where blogging and everything was pretty much started. And so while I went to share the story of what we're doing with our mobile phone reporting, I listened to the stories of people from around the world, around blogging, etc. So when I came back to Ghana, I already had a Blogspot account, but it wasn't so active. I was every now and then I'll put something that I had already done on Voices of Africa there. So I was like, let me take it seriously now. And then I decided to take it more seriously. I combine it with sharing content on social media from the blog, and since it hit the roof, it never stopped, and eventually I created Debrah.com, which in itself came as a joke because I was contributing to my friend and his GhanaCelebrities.com, and then one day he was like, why don't you create your own domain? And I was like, yes. And then we joked, we were like, okay, we have something like Paris Hilton, although it wasn't his real name, people could relate to his personality, and that's what I sort of wanted. So I was like, okay, let's use Debrah.com. And then we registered it. I started going to the back end, knowing how to use it, and then it never stopped. I wake up every morning, I feel like I have to go and update so that people will connect to the content. And a few years down the line, here we are. Well, for me, it's been an amazing addition to what I wanted to do, because when I started for a very long time, it was just me. I had to shoot. I shoot my pictures, I edit them sort of, I write my articles and do everything. But after working, leading projects like pulse.com.gh and yem.com.gh, I sort of understood that the future could be video, because these platforms were owned by multinationals, and so they saw that video was like the new stage for online content. And so when I left them, I was like, let me also create something that would represent that video growth. And so I came up with Ameyaw TV, and that meant I had to now get people to work with me, from the presenters to the editors, etc. I put out some sort of auditions out there, and I got some cool guys and we started working from different spaces. Before, it was in the open space, then my little office, and we started growing, and I felt we needed a space to contain the team when they are working on the website, when they are producing content. And so fortunately, I had a job where I had to work with an architectural firm, and so we were covering their launch, and we covered the launch so well that we became friends with the owners, and they made me know they also do container homes and offices. So they were like, you know what, we can do one for you. Just get us the container when it's ready, we will come. But just when that invitation came, unfortunately COVID had come, and so people were not shipping that much, and so containers were quite scarce. And so finally I got the container. I was like, hey, I have a container, I bought it. They came to put it down, they came to look at it, and then the work began. We went through the design, how it would look like, and the process was exciting. Quite a lot. But I was fortunate, at least the professional fees were cut off, and so they weren't charging me for any of their services. All I had to do was to provide the materials, and so it's a lot of the cost of the materials that we had to bear, and it was quite an investment. In addition to some of the supporting equipment we now had to get as well, all of it was quite an investment, and we are hoping that we'll be able to make all that back soon, and then even make more profit. For me, I think it was opportunity and taking chances. I like the convenience of working from my own space within my own time, and I'm somebody who believes in starting small and giving of your best and growing. And I was fortunate for that to work as a plan. So once I started, I got comfortable with earnings, small from everywhere, and I didn't have to pay anybody. Whatever I got was for me, for my family, and then we grew over the period to now, where I myself became an entrepreneur fully, started hiring people, and paying salaries, paying for equipment and all of those things. So I think it was just opportunity coming at the right time, and me deciding to take a chance with it, because my first time ever working was when I left the university, did my national service with the print magazine. And then from there, I hit online, and the next employment I got was from Ghana Web, and they also went with my flow. At that time, they didn't have an office, so all I needed was internet at home. And so it comfortably went through. So it was much later than I joined Ring Gear for Pulse, and then also Genesis Technology for Yen. That I now actually started going back to the office to work like somebody who would work full-time. Although it wasn't so much full-time, but that's how it went. The opportunity I saw was the fact that the audience kept growing, and nobody could tell what was next. But my plan was always to go in early and grow with every platform, every avenue that availed itself, so that when it gets to a point where there's so much audience there, at least a good share of that is something that I have already. So that became part of my strategy. But I think it was largely seeing how things were going. Technology was sort of running everything. At a point, all the top businesses, brands in the world were technology oriented. And I realized that perhaps this was where we were going. And the fact that in that space, I had feedback, because that's also very important. I was growing communities on various platforms and getting feedback, and that enriched the work I was doing, to be able to communicate with your audience. It's not very easy on other mainstream or traditional media. So these are some of the things that sort of urged me on to where we are now. At the stage we are now, it's these amazing people I have here. They get to monitor what is newsworthy, what other people are saying. They go out to events, interview people, create all the content. And while I do more sort of administrative stuff and paid content, so a lot of the work I do now is handling paid content, emails, people making requests and things like that. So it takes a little village, like they say, and these are my villagers. It's having a calm head and taking things easy. A lot of times when we are starting something new, we are in a rush to make it work, or we are looking at other people who are doing it and getting some sort of results, and we are sort of competing within ourselves internally to also want to be there. And I don't do much of that. And I think that is one key attribute to my success. Also, luck. I don't take away luck. There's nothing that I'm doing that somebody else perhaps is not doing even more of, or what you have in mind. But luck sometimes happens. And with luck, it's also opportunities. When an opportunity comes my way, I grab it, and if I fail, fine. But at least I must do it and see whether I'll be good at it or fail. That's the only way I will satisfy myself and say, oh, at least I tried it. So I have a good listening ear. I'm very observant. I don't always want to be talking and be seen. I like to observe. So I mean, at the very early stages, I will go to events, and my colleagues in the media will miss certain things that I will pick up, also because they are there, they get engrossed in everything else, whereas I am pretty much really observing and seeing what I can bring out to make things different. So these are some of the few traits I can, for now, mention, but it's important to always reinvent yourself, find new ways of connecting with your existing audience and finding new audiences. Observe, research, especially in the field that we find ourselves. There's so much knowledge online that when we find out, we are able to put into what we are doing in order to better what we are doing. I think it's important for you to know the scope, what you want to do. It's not enough to see people do things and they are successful and you also want to do it. You must understand fully what you want to do, what you think you can do differently, so that when you start, you stand out. And whatever means you want to do in terms of format, in terms of platforms, you must understand that the work you're doing, you want to use, say, a website. And once you've decided that, you must understand what it takes to run that website over time and make it successful. If you're using social media, you must understand how Twitter works, how Facebook works, how Instagram works, how YouTube works, so that you understand the platform you're operating in and you are getting the most out of it. You must also learn from others in the space that you find yourself. Learn so that you see how they're doing, and also you're able to improve and make your platform a little better. You must also be good at taking feedback, because having an online presence, a job online, allows you to get a lot of feedback from people. There will be criticisms, there will be good comments, there will be suggestions. I wake up sometimes and people are even asking me, they've heard this story, is it true, is it false? So you're going to get a lot of all of these coming in, and you should be ready to embrace that, because it enriches your community, your content, and everything that comes out of you as an online entity. So these are some of the guides I would give, but never stop learning, because the online space is evolving, constantly growing. New things are coming, new platforms are coming, new tools are coming. So you must understand at every stage what it is that you have to do to enrich your platform. It doesn't happen overnight, and when you are getting into it, you don't get into it with that mindset of get money quick, because it will take time. It takes time to build your audience. It takes time to build trust among your audience. It takes time to get the attention of advertisers. But once you are onto something, once you have built a community, you've built an audience that can be monetized, then the opportunities for you to make money will come. So the opportunities come in different ways. You can get revenue from advertising on, if you're using a website. So for instance, based on the traffic that comes to your website, if you're using platforms like Google advertising, based on where your traffic is coming from and how they engage with advertisement on your platform, you get some money. Depending on how good you're able to also market what you have, you are able to get direct advertising, and so you're able to get something. People may pay for banner adverts on your website, they may pay for sponsored articles, and then also there's opportunity to make money from social media. So if you've built an audience on social media and people feel like you're an authority to speak on certain things, or even if they're just bringing your adverts to place because they know you have the audience that would engage with their content, all these opportunities will come. But it takes time, and it takes some sort of strategy and thinking as to what kind of platform you want to own, what kind of audience you want to build and be associated with, because at the end of the day, this is the things, the metrics that will now turn around to make you money. Initially, I felt that building a website that was Ameyaw.com was going to limit me. But I also realized that it was a gift and a curse, because that also made me different, because people now felt like they were reacting or engaging with somebody rather than just some random platform that is just doing anything. And with that personality development and brand affiliation, different opportunities came around. So, and I make myself very accessible. I put my emails out, I put my phone numbers out, so if you need me for anything, no matter where in the world you find yourself, you are able to reach me. And I learned that at the very early stage when I was using Blogspot. And I started getting emails from people who were coming to Ghana and needed the cool places to visit and all of those things. So as part of the growth, I always wanted to position myself as that tastemaker, where people always wanted my voice, wanted to connect with me. And that has grown in leaps and bounds over the period. And I've had the opportunity to work with so many different organizations, individuals across the world. And it's been really, really exciting.